Hey everyone, and welcome back for our 6th deep dive. This time we're going for a mindful journey into the world of yoga.
Ooh, nice.
Thanks to ZenHaven1010 and their really inspiring blog, Breathe, Move, Feel Better, How Yoga Can Transform Your Mind, Body, and Spirit.
Love that title.
Right.
Yeah.
It really sets the tone
It does,
for what we're going to be talking about today. You know, sometimes life throws you a curveball,
for sure.
a stressful day at work, a never-ending to-do list, you name it.
Yep.
But imagine this, stepping onto a comfy yoga mat, lighting a beautifully scented candle, and just breathing. It's about finding that inner peace and balance. And that's exactly what we're exploring today.
Awesome.
Now, I've dabbled in yoga, but I'm no expert. Luckily, we have someone here who can guide us to the deeper layers of this ancient practice. It's more than just stretching right.
It is.
There's a whole philosophy behind it.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how many people think of yoga purely as a physical exercise, but its roots are deeply spiritual, going back thousands of years in India. Back then, it wasn't about achieving a perfect downward dog. It was a pathway to mental clarity and spiritual insight, a way to connect with something bigger than yourself.
Wow, that's a perspective I hadn't fully considered. So let's break it down. What exactly is yoga, beyond the poses we see on Instagram?
So the word yoga itself comes from Sanskrit and means to unite or to join. And that's really the essence of it, uniting your mind, body, and spirit. Modern yoga incorporates physical postures, those are your asanas, breath control, which is called pranayama, meditation, and even ethical guidelines for a balanced life.
Okay, I'm already getting a sense of how holistic this practice is.
Yeah.
But there's so many different styles of yoga out there. It can be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
How do you even choose?
You're right. There's a whole spectrum of styles, each with its own focus and intensity. You've got your dynamic flows like vinyasa, which are great for building strength and flexibility. Then you have more restorative practices like yin yoga, which focuses on deep stretching and relaxation. It truly comes down to personal preference and what your body needs.
That makes sense. I'm definitely drawn to the idea of deep stretching and relaxation. Speaking of which, what are some of the physical benefits that yoga offers beyond flexibility?
Well, flexibility is definitely a key one, especially if you're someone who sits at a desk all day.
Yeah.
Poses like downward-facing dog and pigeon pose really target those tight hamstrings and hip flexors, improving your range of motion over time. But it's not just about touching your toes. Increased flexibility can actually improve your posture, reduce back pain, and even prevent injuries.
That's interesting. I've always thought of yoga as being mainly for flexibility, but I never considered how it could impact things like posture and injury prevention.
Exactly. And what's even more surprising to many people is that yoga can also build strength.
Okay.
Yeah. Think about poses like plank or warrior two. They engage your core, arms, and legs, giving you a full body workout that improves muscle tone and endurance. You're using your own body weight for resistance, which is a fantastic way to build functional strength.
So it's not just about relaxation then. You can actually get a pretty good workout from yoga.
You definitely can. And alongside strength and flexibility, yoga is incredible for improving balance.
Oh, interesting.
This is where poses like tree pose and eagle pose come in. They challenge your stability and coordination. But it's not just physical balance. Yoga helps cultivate mental balance as well through its calming effects.
I love how it addresses both the physical and mental aspects. And good balance is so important, especially as we get older.
It really is. Improved balance not only reduces the risk of falls, but also just makes you feel more grounded and stable in everyday life. Think about navigating a crowded street or simply walking on uneven terrain. Good balance makes a world of difference.
Okay, I'm sold on the physical benefits. But what about the mental and emotional side of things? You mentioned earlier that yoga can help with stress and anxiety. Can you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. One of the most powerful benefits of yoga is its ability to reduce stress and anxiety. The combination of physical movement, focused breathing, and mindfulness creates a sense of calm and stability that can be incredibly grounding in our fast-paced world. It's like hitting the reset button for your nervous system.
It sounds like yoga provides tools to manage those overwhelming feelings,
Yeah.
rather than just temporarily escaping them.
You hit the nail on the head. Yoga empowers you to become more aware of your emotional state and develop healthy coping mechanisms. It can even help manage feelings of depression by cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness.
Self-awareness is so crucial. especially when dealing with difficult emotions. Can you explain how yoga helps us develop that?
It starts with paying attention to your breath. In yoga, we call this pranayama, which is all about controlling the breath. By focusing on the inhale and exhale, you become more present in the moment, less caught up in the whirlwind of thoughts and worries. This heightened awareness allows you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, creating space for greater understanding and compassion.
So it's about finding that space between the stimulus and your reaction, becoming more mindful of your patterns.
Exactly. And as you develop this mindfulness through yoga, you start to understand your emotional triggers and can respond to challenging situations more thoughtfully. Instead of just reacting impulsively, it's about making conscious choices rather than being driven by unconscious patterns.
That's such a powerful shift, and it makes sense how breathwork plays such a crucial role in this process. Can you elaborate a bit more on the concept of pranayama and its benefits?
Of course. Pranayama involves various techniques that go beyond simply breathing deeply. It's about regulating your breathing patterns, using specific rhythms and techniques to influence your energy levels, focus.
So it's not just about getting more oxygen into your body, but about using your breath to intentionally shift your internal state.
Precisely. Different breathing techniques can have different effects. For example, alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana, is known for its calming and balancing effects. It can help reduce anxiety and improve mental clarity.
That's fascinating. I'm starting to understand how powerful the breath can be, and it's something we often take for granted, just breathing without even thinking about it.
It's true, we breathe unconsciously all the time. But pranayama brings that unconscious process into conscious awareness, and that conscious control of the breath is what allows us to tap into its transformative power.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued to learn more about pranayama. But so now I want to bring it back to something you mentioned earlier about creating a peaceful environment for your practice.
Yeah.
ZenHaven1010, the inspiration for this deep dive, emphasizes this in their blog, especially with their yoga mat and candle. Can we talk about that a little?
Creating a serene space can definitely enhance your practice. Imagine a dedicated area in your home, maybe with soft lighting, a lit candle with a calming scent, and of course a comfortable yoga mat beneath you. It signals to your mind and body that it's time to relax and let go.
It sounds like a recipe for instant zen. And I remember reading that ZenHaven1010 a lot of thought into both their yoga mat and candle. Can you tell us a bit more about what makes them special?
Absolutely. Their yoga mat is designed with both comfort and stability in mind. It's crafted from high-quality foam, providing a cushioned surface that's gentle on your joints. This is especially important if you have any knee or wrist sensitivity. And it's also non-slip, which is crucial for safety and stability during your practice.
That makes a lot of sense. Nobody wants to be sliding around during downward dog.
Exactly. And their candle isn't just about creating a pleasant aroma, it's about enhancing the overall experience. They offer a range of calming scents, from lavender to sandalwood, all designed to promote relaxation and focus during your yoga session.
It sounds like they've truly thought of everything to create a truly immersive yoga experience. And that attention to detail really speaks to their commitment to supporting people on their wellness journeys.
I think so.
Well, I'm feeling quite relaxed just talking about all of this.
Me too.
We've covered so much ground already, from the spiritual roots of yoga to its physical and mental benefits, and even the importance of setting the right environment.
It's a lot.
I know. We'll come back soon to continue our deep dive into the world of yoga with ZenHaven1010. Stay tuned.
It's amazing how just talking about yoga can bring a sense of calm.
It really is.
Yeah.
And as we've been discussing the physical and mental benefits, I keep coming back to that initial idea of yoga as a spiritual practice.
Yeah.
We touched on its origins in ancient India,
Yeah.
but I'd love to delve a little deeper.
Okay.
Can you tell us more about that spiritual dimension?
Absolutely. While modern yoga often emphasizes the physical postures and fitness aspects, that spiritual core is still there, woven into the very fabric of the practice. In ancient India, yoga was a path to self-realization, a way to connect with something larger than oneself. It involved deep meditation, ethical living, and ultimately a journey toward liberation from suffering.
It sounds like a profound and multifaceted approach to life, not just a workout routine.
Exactly. And even today, many practitioners find that yoga connects them to a sense of inner peace and purpose. It's not about achieving the perfect pose, but rather about cultivating awareness, compassion, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things.
That's beautiful. So how can someone who's new to yoga begin to explore this spiritual side? Does it require joining a specific lineage, or following a guru?
Not at all. The beauty of yoga is that it's a personal journey. You can explore the spiritual aspects at your own pace and in your own way, simply being present during your practice, focusing on your breath, and cultivating a sense of gratitude can be profoundly spiritual experiences in themselves.
That's reassuring to hear. It feels more accessible than I initially thought.
It really is, and if you're drawn to a more structured approach, there are many different yoga lineages and teachers who offer guidance on the spiritual aspects of the practice, but ultimately the most important thing is to find what resonates with you and to approach it with an open mind and heart.
That makes sense. It's about finding your own path within the practice, honoring your own individual journey. Now, we've talked a lot about the benefits of yoga for individuals, but I'm curious about its potential impact on a larger scale.
Okay.
Could yoga play a role in creating a more peaceful and compassionate world?
That's a wonderful question, and I believe the answer is a resounding yes. Yoga cultivates qualities like mindfulness, empathy, and compassion. As individuals develop these qualities through their practice, they naturally begin to extend them outward into their relationships, communities, and the world around them.
I love that ripple effect idea, that inner transformation can lead to positive change in the world.
Exactly. Imagine a world where people are more present, more understanding, and more connected to their own inner peace. It's a beautiful vision, and I truly believe that yoga can help us move toward that reality.
That vision really resonates with me, and it speaks to the transformative power of yoga, not just for ourselves, but for the collective. And it reminds me of something we talked about earlier, ZenHaven1010's commitment to creating products that support people on their wellness journey. Let's circle back to their yoga mat and candle.
Sure.
Remind us what makes them so special.
Of course, the ZenHaven1010 yoga mat is crafted from high-quality foam, providing that cushioned surface that's so gentle on your joints. It's also non-slip, which is essential for safety and stability during your practice. And their candle, well, it's more than just a pleasant scent. They offer a range of calming aromas, from lavender to sandalwood, all carefully selected to enhance relaxation and focus.
And they've clearly put a lot of thought
Yeah.
into creating products that enhance the whole yoga experience, from the physical to the mental and emotional.
They really have. And that intentionality is what sets them apart. They're not just selling yoga accessories. They're creating tools to support a holistic approach to well-being.
It's inspiring to see a company so dedicated to promoting wellness and mindfulness. So for our listeners who are feeling inspired to start or deepen their yoga practice, what advice would you give them?
First and foremost, be patient with yourself. Yoga is a journey, not a destination. There's no need to strive for perfection or compare yourself to others. Start with what feels good for your body and gradually increase the intensity and duration of your practice as you build strength and flexibility.
That's such important advice. It's so easy to get caught up in comparison and self-judgment, especially in a practice like yoga.
It's true, but remember, yoga is about connecting with your inner self, not competing with others.
I love that. It's about self-acceptance and honoring your own unique journey.
Precisely. And along with patience, remember to have fun. Yoga is a celebration of movement, breath, and self-discovery. Embrace the joy of the practice and let it guide you toward a more balanced and fulfilling life.
That's wonderful advice. And I think it perfectly encapsulates the spirit of ZenHaven10's message. Breathe, move, feel better. It's about embracing the journey, finding joy in the practice, and cultivating a sense of well-being. That extends beyond the mat and into our daily lives.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
We've covered so much ground today, from the ancient roots of yoga to its modern-day applications, and the power of breathwork and mindfulness. And of course, we explored how ZenHaven10's products can support us on this journey. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I'd love to hear any final thoughts you have for our listeners as they embark on their own yoga adventures.
My final piece of advice would be this. Approach yoga with an open mind and a sense of curiosity. Don't be afraid to experiment, explore different styles, and find what resonates with you. There's no right or wrong way to practice yoga. It's about discovering what feels good in your body, mind, and spirit.
That's a great reminder. It's about finding your own unique path within this vast and ancient practice.
Exactly. And remember, yoga is a practice, not a performance. There's no need to strive for perfection or compare yourself to others. Meet yourself where you are, honor your body's wisdom, and celebrate the journey.
Beautifully said. And I think that's a perfect note to end on. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing their wisdom and insights with us today. It's been an incredibly enriching conversation.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to explore the world of yoga and discover its transformative power for yourselves. Whether you're a seasoned yogi or a curious beginner, there's always something new to learn and experience. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been exploring the world of yoga, inspired by ZenHaven1010's blog, Breathe, Move, Feel Better. And I have to say, I'm feeling incredibly inspired by everything we've discussed.
Me too. It's amazing how much we've uncovered. From the ancient roots of yoga to its modern-day evolution, we've delved into the physical and mental benefits, explored the power of breathwork and mindfulness, and even touched on the spiritual dimension of this incredible practice.
And we can't forget those practical tips for incorporating yoga into our daily lives. Even with the busiest of schedules,
Right.
remember even just a few minutes of focused breathing or stretching can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. And it's all about finding what works for you, whether that's joining a class, following along with an app, or simply rolling out your mat at home and tuning into your body. There is a path for everyone.
And speaking of rolling out your mat, we've talked about the ZenHaven 1010 yoga mat and candle as tools to enhance your practice. Is there anything else you'd like to highlight about those products before we wrap up?
I think it's worth emphasizing the thoughtfulness behind ZenHaven 1010's approach. They're not just selling yoga accessories, they're curating an experience. Their yoga mat with its high-quality foam and non-slip surface provides the comfort and stability you need to fully immerse yourself in the practice.
It's like they've considered every detail to create the ideal foundation for your yoga journey.
Exactly. And then there's the candle. It's more than just a fragrance. It's an invitation to create a sacred space, a sanctuary where you can disconnect from the outside world and connect with your inner self. They offer a variety of scents, including unscented, so you can choose what best supports your practice.
It sounds like a recipe for total relaxation and rejuvenation. And that's ultimately what yoga's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finding that sense of balance and well-being that extends beyond the mat into our everyday lives.
Precisely. Yoga is a transformative practice that empowers us to become more mindful, more resilient, and more connected to ourselves and the world around us. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that radiates outward.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious to hear your final thoughts. What message would you leave our listeners with as they embark on their own yoga journeys?
My advice would be to approach yoga with an open heart and a playful spirit. Don't be afraid to experiment, to explore different styles, and to find what truly resonates with you. Remember, yoga is a practice, not a performance. There's no need to strive for perfection or compare yourself to others.
I love that. It's about embracing the journey and honoring your own unique path.
Exactly. Meet yourself where you are today. Listen to your body's wisdom and celebrate every step along the way.
Beautifully said. A huge thank you to our expert for sharing such insightful and inspiring wisdom with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure exploring the world of yoga with you.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to step onto your mats, light a candle, take a deep breath, and discover the transformative power of yoga for yourselves.